Good morning, everybody. My name is Clara Custodio. I run customer experience here at Consensus International. I think I know most of you. For those of you who still haven't met me personally, even though some of you have met me personally over the phone or maybe through a Zoom meeting in the past months, because unfortunately I haven't been able to visiting you guys lately. My position here at Consensus is making sure that your experience is the best possible with both the software that you've chosen, SAP Business One, as well as our team of consultants and any other team here at Consensus. So I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself and my functions to those of you in the meeting who still haven't chatted with me. I will be reaching out to you shortly if I haven't done so already, and we always welcome your feedback. Me and Carla, we are the customer experience department, and basically that's what we look for. It's your feedback at any given point. It could be good feedback, and we appreciate that too, and also things that we can improve here at Consensus to make your experience better. So one of the things that we've been doing is designing this webinar series for you guys, and we always take your ideas very seriously. Actually, all of the webinars that we've been delivering in the past have come from customers like you, users of SAP Business One, who asked us, I would like to be trained in approvals or in reporting, and we take your ideas very seriously, and we really try to give you what you need. So after the webinar, when I share the recording with you guys, I will also include on the link on the email a link that takes you to a survey where you can tell us what topics you would like to see on our webinar series next. Today's webinar is about SAP Business One self-help tools. I'm going to be recording the session, so you don't need to take notes. I'll share the recording with you later, and it will be available on demand on our website as well. All the participants are muted by default, but if you have questions, please use the Q&A feature here at Zoom, or you can also use the chat. I will try to answer your questions at the end of the webinar. And I'm gonna stop sharing my camera now, so that to be wise with the bandwidth. And the content that we're going to be covering today is are tools that are already inside SAP Business One and that can help you become a little bit more self-sufficient with the system. You probably already know that SAP Business One is a very comprehensive system. There's also several versions and several modules included. So when you go online to try to look for an answer on Google, for instance, you might find so much information that it's a little bit overwhelming. And in order for you to find information, there are actually a couple of tools or more than a couple of tools and links within the system itself that can really help you. And I think you might find this useful, and that it helps you find answers quicker to the questions that you might have. So we're going to start with the first tab within the Help menu in SAP Business One, and the title is Documentation. So I'm going to switch to the system now so that I can show you what we're talking about here. Carla, can you confirm that I'm sharing the system screen now?
Yes, Clara, it looks good.
Okay, Fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a screen for the purpose of this webinar. I am using an SAP Business One for HANA version 9.3, but the help menu is also available in SQL and in all versions. So just in case you feel that this cockpit doesn't look familiar to you exactly, or is not exactly what you see on your system, the help option is always available here. So we're going to go over what you can find in documentation, which is the first option here in the help menu. And the first thing that you're going to find is the online help. When you click on online help, basically what's going to open for you, it's a manual of the system. But this manual is already on the version of the system that you have installed. If for example, one of you has a prior version for 9.3, when you click on the link, it'll open the manual for the version that you are actually running. So it's already saving you a little bit of time because you don't need to wonder, is this the version that applies to me? So here in the manual, you're going to find information about the different modules or getting started, and you can dig in, for instance, if you want to have a refresh on how business partners work or any other module, or maybe if you want to train a new user as well. We all know that, you know, when you train a new user and that new user needs to train a different user, then sometimes we make assumptions and we assume that they know things that we know because we've been working with the system for a long time. But it's always a good idea to start from basics, and this could be a very good place to start. Always it's going to give you the option to still get in more detail about whatever you want from the system. One important note, if when you click on help and you click on online help, you don't see a window like this one, but you see a slightly different window. It could be a little more ugly, like without format, for instance. That has to do with the Explorer version, with the browser that you have installed on the server that the system is installed. So if you're having problems with that, please note that you should have Explorer. So not Edge, not the latest version, but Explorer, and not Chrome or any other browser. It's designed, this browsing experience is designed for this Explorer version. So if you have troubles with that, if what you see is not exactly this, you can always contact us and we can help you, although this is something that your IT department should be able to help as well. Okay. So the first thing is basically a manual of the system. After that, we have this link, this country-specific information. It should give you something very similar, a manual, but with specific information about the localization that you're running. If it doesn't show, also contact us and we can gather that information for you. In some countries, the document is not readily available because it was developed by a partner and not SAP themselves. So we might be able to help with that. This context help is actually also helping you get your questions faster. But for that, you need to be in a particular window. In this case, I've chosen to open the item master data to show you what this context help does. So if you're working on the system on a specific window or module that you have open, and then you click on help, documentation, context help, or you can also use the shortcut F1. If you click there, it's going to bring within the manual specifically about the window that you're working on. So it's really quick, and it takes you to the way that the system works on that specific window. So it's going to give you information, and also it's going to give you the ability to dig in deeper on specific information about that window. The next option within documentation, other than context help, is this what's this. The difference between context help and what's this, or F1 and Shift plus F1, which is also a different shortcut that you can use in this case, is that what's this is going to bring you information related to the field that your mouse was in when you clicked there. This is not always going to be available, so not all fields have specific information within the manual. So in some cases, let me close this. So in some cases, you might get exactly the same information when you click on F1 or when you click on Shift plus F1. But in other cases, like this one, for instance, since my mouse was in the description of the item, if there is information available about that specific field, then that's what will show in the what's this. Okay. The help settings is really something that we, the implementers, so in this case Consensus, sets up for you at the very beginning of your implementation. And this is not really something that you should change, and there is no need to change this unless you want to have documentation, help, the links, you want them to be in a different language, etc. But in that case, it would be a better idea to contact us so that we can help you with this process. Okay. Other than these links here through the documentation option in the help menu, there is another self-help tool that is my personal favorite, and is the online search for problems. Some of you already know about this because I have been making presentations about this tool, but I wanted to include it here anyway because there might be someone that still doesn't know about this tool. And this tool is very, very useful when you encounter a problem. The example that I'm going to use, it's an AR invoice, and we're trying to add an AR invoice here, but it could be any other process. And you're probably familiar with this red bar that appears at the bottom of the screen when there's an error that doesn't allow you to continue with the process that you were attempting to do. That red bar, unfortunately, disappears very soon. And for me, before learning about this tool, it was a bit frustrating because sometimes I wasn't even able to read the full text on the red bar that was describing the error that I was getting. The first step that you need to take in order to leverage this tool is to click on Window and then select System Messages Log. Once you select this, you're going to see at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see an additional window which doesn't disappear, it doesn't go anywhere, and it's letting you see the different system messages that you've been getting. And the last one, the first one in the list, is the last one that the system generated, and it's the error that we were seeing on the red bar. So if you click that, you're not going to have to be reading really quickly and trying to understand what the error was. You're going to have access to that and the previous errors as well. So if you want to find help with this error, what you can do is you can hover over this error here with your mouse, like I'm doing, right click on your mouse, and then this little window is going to appear, and you can select the last option, that it's search online. What this is going to do for you, it's going to open a browser window, and it's going to look for that specific error message, but only it's going to filter all results to SAP.com sites. So basically what this is doing for you, it's going out to Google, precisely to Google. You don't have to type in the error that you're getting, it's already there, and it's already filtering the results for you to only SAP.com official content. What you can see is that the first thing that came out is help at SAP.com. This is a tool that we're gonna be seeing in the next slide. And this, as you can see here, it's a PDF, so it's more like a manual in this case. But many times you're gonna have other than also manuals, you're gonna have, let me search here. It's a little slow. Let me try that again. I think I'm having some issues with my internet. Okay, let's try that again. Search online. So Okay, it opens this, and many times you're going to get, if you see that it's a PDF, then it's more of a manual that you're going to have to read through in order to see the error. But many times it's going to bring you to this SAP question and answer. And that means that when you click there, what you're going to see is that other users have asked questions about this same error that you're getting. And more advanced users or even consultants have already replied. You know, replies are also accepted or not accepted, and this is a great way to find help and answers to your questions and being self-sufficient. So it's really taking it's really making the process a lot shorter. I've heard from many users that they were doing this manually outside the system, so having to go to a different window, go to Google, then typing in the error and not being sure if what they were reading was good or not. These are already filters by SAP.com results, and it does that work for you. So it's very helpful. Let me just minimize this. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next slide. Give me just a second. I apologize for that. Okay, our next slide is it's on the second option of the help menu, and it's basically information that we find in what we call the SAP Business One welcome screen.
Sorry, Clara.
Yes.
Can't see the PowerPoint.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Carla. Now?
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. So what we're gonna be reviewing that now is the options that you see on what we call the SAP Business One welcome screen, and I'm gonna go again to the system. And Carla, you let me know if you can see the system.
Yes, we can.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the second option on the help menu is the welcome screen. You're probably familiar with this screen. Sometimes it stays, it pops up every time that you log into your system. If you don't want this to happen, you just need to unclick this option. If this option is clicked, then this screen will show every time that you log into your system. But if you unclick this option and then you want to access it, you now know that it's here, right in the second option of the help menu. So here you can see that you have 4 different links. And the first one, the SAP Business One Training, it takes you to the SAP Business One Academy on the SAP Learning Hub. In order to access it, you're going to need to register here. And it's a very simple process, and you will need your S number. If you don't have an S number, please contact your internal SAP administrator. All SAP administrators within our customers, they receive the S number at the beginning of the implementation or at some point during implementation, and your SAP administrator should be able to give you an S number. If you're not able, if your administrator is not able to provide that for you, then contact us and we'll make sure that you get one. Okay, the S number it's a number that you're going to need to access many of SAP's contents, like this one, and you should all have one because it takes you to very interesting content that you can leverage. The SAP Business One Academy is, as we were mentioning before, it's very comprehensive, like everything about SAP. It's so well documented, and you have so much content that really the key is to know exactly where to go and what you're looking for. So in the case of the SAP Business One Academy, I prefer to use the SAP Business One learning journeys when you're trying to guide a user, or you yourself want to train yourself on a specific module, or you just want to refresh what you learned in the past or something like that. You can also use keyword search if you're looking for a specific answer to something. But I'm going to show you today how the SAP Business One learning journeys look, so that you know a little bit how to navigate. So the first options that you're going to see are related to the versions. So most of you are on 9.3 right now. At some point during this year, we'll be upgrading to version 10. So when that happens, or if you want to get ready ahead of time before that happens and you want to start training yourself on version 10, that's something that you can do. But we're going to take a look now at 9.3, which is the one that we're all probably more familiar with. You can see that you have options in languages. So here it's in Spanish or in Portuguese. And once you access that learning journey, the learning journey is going to be giving you information about the different modules. Okay. So you see here that you can start with an overview. And if you hover over the little modules, you're going to see that everything is e-learning, and it gives you already an approximate time that you will take to do this module. If you wanna go directly and train yourself on something more specific like production or MRP or bin locations or sales, it's going to tell you exactly how long it should take to go through that journey. And I'm going to show you a little bit how it looks. I think it's an excellent idea for new users in your company to go through this course, and then once they know how everything works in SAP Business One or in their specific module that they're going to be working on, then you can let them know about customizations or very specific things that that were a little changed in the system to match your own processes. But it's having the knowledge of how things should work in SAP Business One. It's really a good idea. So you see that each module it's then also bite into small bites, and you have learning, and you have then also practice. So the SAP Business One Academy really recommended, and it gives you a little test at the end of each module so that you know that you have completed it. So that's something that maybe it's also a good idea to ask your users to complete it from time to time. Okay. Okay. Let's leave it like this. Okay. The second link, it's online help. And that's exactly the same as we saw before. So we're going to find online help in some of these menus. It's a little bit like the roads that led to Rome. They just want to make it available for us from different places. This link here, titled "What's New," it's relevant specifically when you have recently upgraded to a newer version. So this link is going to take you to the highlights of the version that you're running right now. And like I mentioned, if this is the first version that you've ever been in SAP Business One, then it might not be relevant for you because you've always run in this version. But if you were running on a different version before and you're now running on this version, this is going to let you know what are the things that have changed and what are the highlights of the new features that are available. Regularly, when you're going through an upgrade, we in Consensus will send you this documentation in advance so that you can get familiar with the new features and you can ask us to be trained in specific things that you think that you're going to be using. But it's always good to know that you can have that information available here from your own system, and you can review it at your own pace. And the last link here on the welcome screen is a glossary of terms relating to the system. So if you're finding information on some of the other links that you don't really understand, and you're finding a term that you're not sure exactly what it means in the context of SAP Business One and the system that you're running, you can always come to the glossary and make sure. Okay. So that's what it's included in the welcome screen. And again, as mentioned, you can unclick this before you close it. And so to make sure that it doesn't show every time that you open your system. Next on our agenda, and Carla, let me know if I'm showing the right.
Yes, you are.
Okay, fantastic. I'm getting a little better at this. Next on our agenda are a number of SAP links that, again, are already available for you there in the system and that take you to interesting information. We're going to go over those links right now. Let me manage the screen again. Okay. Okay, so that's actually the third option here on the help menu. And as you see, you have many different links. The SAP Business One roadmap is something that you might choose to consult. You're going to need your S number in order to get here. I don't know why it's asking me for this specific content. It didn't ask for this before, but basically the roadmap, here it is. Basically the roadmap is, it's always going to be, if you access the roadmap through this link, it's always going to be the last version of the roadmap. And as you know, the roadmap is where SAP Business One is going, where they're planning, what are the planned innovations, and this might be relevant for you. So there might be something that you're waiting for SAP Business One to improve, or a module that that you're very interested in. So this is a good document to consult from time to time and see where the plans are. We always make presentations at least once a year. We have the product expert in SAP Business One, Edith Sage, do a presentation for us, and she explains what's coming next, and this is the document that she uses for those presentations. So if you want to go ahead and check it yourself, then it's available here, and it's constantly being updated. Okay, so here is where you find that kind of information. The second link included in SAP Links is the Help Portal, which we already saw. I think we already saw, let me check. Oh, no, we hadn't seen the Help Portal, I think, no. So here, the Help Portal is, again, full of information, and it might be too much information for a regular user, but depending on the level of user that you are and the interaction that you have with the system and your responsibility towards the system, you might use more or less information here. You have information on the system. You have more advanced information on, for instance, intercompany integrations or integration hub. You have information about how support works in SAP Business One. And basically, if you go to the support Launchpad here, and this is more for advanced users, like I was mentioning, this is where you're going to get. Let's see if it works. I don't see that it's working right now. I apologize because I'm having some issues with my internet, it looks like. Well, we'll try to go to the Launchpad through a different link later on. But this is a very, very complete portal where you can find a lot of documentation. For instance, here you have documentation on the mobile app for SAP Business One, and information about different products that, as I said before, it might not be relevant for a basic user, but it might be relevant for a more advanced or IT type of user. We'll go to the support Launchpad later. Let me see if this takes us to the support Launchpad. I think. Let me see if we can go here. Again, going to the support Launchpad is specifically useful for more advanced users, for SAP Business One administrators within your company, or even your IT services provider. And basically, what is interesting about going to the support portal here is arriving to this page. And here, if you scroll down a little bit, here you have access to SAP notes. You can look for them by terms. Let's say that you want to find out if there have been any problems with the approvals process, for instance. And see, you're going to have here all the latest SAP notes on problems related to the approval process, for instance. Again, probably not for a basic user to help themselves with this, but an advanced user could maybe find answers to questions in these notes. Okay, if we continue down, this is a very interesting one, and this is for any user, the SAP Business One Influence. Let me allow. So sometimes we run into something in SAP, and even though it's very, very comprehensive, sometimes we just find that that, oh, why doesn't this report give me the option to do this, or something that would be helpful for us in our business, and you ask us and we let you know that no, that is not possible right now in SAP Business One. As I mentioned before in the roadmap, the team is always continuously working on enhancing the system, and really this customer influence page is real, and the team does read customer suggestions, and many of the enhancements that are included in SAP's Business One roadmap and in future versions are taken from suggestions that users made. So SAP really, really listens, and here, once you arrive to the influence, to the customer influence SAP page, click on the home page, on the home icon here, and you're going to find videos on how to submit an improvement, how to vote on other improvements, how to comment or follow different improvement ideas of other users. And what we always ask our customers to do is, once you've submitted an improvement idea to SAP, please let us know, because we will all our team will vote for your suggestion, and a minimum of 25 votes are needed for SAP to actually look at suggestions. There are many suggestions submitted every day, and they can't look at all of them, but they do take into account all those that have more than 25 votes. So please let us know, and get familiar with how to do it, and really, we really support you in suggesting improvements to SAP. Also, Consensus is part of the partner advisory council at SAP, so we do have a voice there, and we've helped push some of our customers' suggestions through, and they have become a reality in the system, and everybody else is benefiting from that now. So we're really proud, and we ask you to be as proactive as possible with this customer influence, to take advantage of the fact that SAP really listens. Okay. So again, top resolutions, also interesting for more advanced users. It's basically a link to the latest resolutions that SAP Business One has taken in the latest patches. So we can open this document. And you see, it's always the latest available. So in the latest patches, these are the things that have been solved, the problems that were found and were already solved. So for advanced users, very, very interesting to know. And for basic users, I wouldn't look for this, for instance, because probably if I read it through, it wouldn't make much sense to me. Other links, other interesting links, This one, SAP Business One Training, is the same that we found on the welcome screen. So I already showed you, this gives you access to the SAP Business One Academy, and very, very nice content there to learn SAP Business One, or to refresh your knowledge in SAP Business One, or even get certified. I forgot to mention that when you complete all the content in the SAP Business One Academy, you are supposed to be ready for the certification exam, and you will find information right there and there on how to get certified if that's something that interests you. We did a webinar specifically on the certification path, so if you want to check that out on our website, it's also available there. And the last thing here, the SAP Business One tips, this takes you to a page in the blog, in the blogs of SAP, with a list to the latest tips published by SAP Business One experts. Just a quick note: ever since SAP Business One version 10 was on the ramp, on the launch ramp, these tips, they all refer to SAP Business One version 10. So you need to go a little bit, but they have been doing these tips and tricks for very long. So probably if you start seeing those in early 19, probably they're based on 9.3, and you can check that. This one specifically, it doesn't mention it, but when you read a tip, it always mentions what version they're talking about, so that will give you an idea. I just wanted to be sure that you knew that the most recent ones are all using examples of version 10. So maybe until you're in version 10, it's a better idea to just go by the tips that we are sharing on our newsletters and on our YouTube channel, because for now we're only doing content in 9.3 until most of our customers are in version 10. We will keep on doing 9.3 tips. Okay. And I think that's it for the links. Yes, that's it for the links. So let's just see what's next. Okay, so the last option on the help menu is support desk, and there is a tool there that it's the second magic one for me, other than the online search that we mentioned before. You also have access to the note search, which we've already seen through a different link. As I mentioned, you can go to Rome using different roads, and then we're going to also see what we find in the very last of the options, that it's called About SAP Business One. So I'm going to start sharing the system again, and we'll get right through it. Okay, Carla, can you confirm if I'm sharing the system?
Yes, Clara.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so here on support desk, you see a lot of links. We're not going to go through all of them, but my absolute favorite is this report a problem. It's a fantastic tool. Some of you might already know it, that helps you document an issue to our support department. And we're going to just open the report a problem, and you're going to see that this is the window that appears. You want to report a new. When do you use this? You use this when you are trying to perform an activity in the system, and the system is not giving you the result that you expected. It might be an error message that you don't know how to solve, or it might be that the system is not doing what it was supposed to do, what the system was doing yesterday, or what the system is doing in a different user's computer. So you want to report that to us, and many of you do that by sharing screenshots with us, and you know that we always ask for a lot of details in order to help you faster. So using this tool, you won't have to include screenshots or as many details, because what this tool does is it records your attempt at doing whatever it was that you were trying to do, and it records, you know, a lot of information surrounding that attempt of doing that function. So the support team is going to get a lot of information from that recording. So what you will do is report new. You will click on report new, and you will give this recording a name. It's not really recording a video. It generates a different type of file that the support team is able to read like it was a video, but it's not a video. But we're gonna just use the example that we were using before, where we were trying to create an AR invoice and it was giving us an error. So we can title this AR invoice error. We're gonna click both settings here, and we're going to click on record. Once we click on record, it's telling us that the recording is already in progress. So then we need to, again, start the process. So if it's a lengthy process, you should start at the beginning so that support gets all the details of how things were happening and in which order. So in this case, I'm going to make it quick, and I'm just going to try to add the invoice. It's not letting me, so already I'm closing, and no, I'm not going to save the changes, and I'm going to finish. I finalize the recording, and then it's going to take a little time to convert this recording into the type of document that we need. So you just wait for this to happen, and it takes a little time, even for a very short process like I just did. So we need a little patience, but it's really worth it, because that document is generated in itself, and it's already giving information about the user, the version, the module that you were using, and the different steps that you took. Some things that you know, it might take time for us to go back and forth and asking those questions to you, and for you to actually let us know what was going on around the system when you were trying to do that. So we're going to let it wait for a little while, and while it generates the file, I'm also going to let you know that in order to report, sometimes you're gonna think it's best to share a video, an actual video with us, and that it's also okay. Some of our customers are using free tools to record what's going on their systems and with different systems, and free tools like loom.com, for instance. When you use a tool such as loom.com, which is a free tool that allows you to record your screen, what's going on your screen. If you use a tool such as that, then please share with us only the link to the recording. Those tools regularly, they host the video for you on their own platform, and they give you the option to download the video, but also they give you a link to share the video. Always share the link, because videos are too heavy for us to actually be able to get them through email, or even to upload them to our support platform. Okay, so always, if sharing a video, always share the link. So we saw that something, the process apparently has ended, and this is a little trick. You need to go and find that window. Sometimes it hides behind the actual SAP Business One window. See what I did? I just moved a little bit the SAP Business One window, and then I found this next screen. So here we see the title of our document, and we just make sure that these two are still selected, these two options, and now we're going to click on Save. And it's going to already show this window with recorded scenarios. So what we want to do here, once we are in this window with recorded scenarios, we want to hover over the little blue information here under folder name, and we want to right click on our mouse. And this automatically takes us to the location within your laptop or computer where this document has been stored. It's a zip file, and the only thing you need to do is you right click on it, you copy it, or you cut it, but better to copy it so you have a copy of it yourself, and then that you can send as an attachment to us on an email to support, or you can upload this to the support platform if you're using the support platform to send us support requests. And as mentioned before, it will give the team tons of information, and the back and forth requesting information from you to understand what was going on, it's going to be dramatically decreased. So that is the Magic Wand tool under Support Desk. The Support Launchpad and Note Search, we've already seen that before, and I'm not going to show it to you again. Activation request is not something that you should be using. The logger settings, it's also something that you shouldn't be using. It's by default is going to be defined like this. Basically, what it's being decided here is how much information do we want to trace and log as pertaining to errors and problems. Note that if you activate it, it will reduce the client performance. It takes a lot of space. So we should let it as it is. This is by default what we defined for you at the beginning of you using your system. But in very specific situations where there is a problem that we're not able to replicate, and sometimes even the system will ask you to change these settings for a specific period of time while you're trying to solve a very specific problem. If you don't feel comfortable doing these changes yourself, when the system asks you, always contact us and we'll help you go through it, okay? But as mentioned, it's not something that you want to change on your own, because it'll take a lot of space, and it will turn the program slower. So it's only to be used in very specific situations. I think that's basically it. Also, you shouldn't be restoring any of these values to the original without consulting with us first. It might be needed at some point, but it should be done with all the other users out of the system, and it's important to understand what consequences it could have. So so basically that's it. And the very last link here, which is titled About SAP Business One, this just opens this little window that is going to give you interesting information about the version that you're running, the patch level that you're running, and also if it's HANA or not. And you have here the hardware key and the system number and installation number, which is something that you don't need always. But if at some point, for a specific reason, somebody asks you, can you confirm what is the version that you're running, or any of the information, this is where you can find it. Okay, so PL means patch level, and that's when you identify which patch level you're in. So basically, that is all that I wanted to share with you. And I'm going to take a look now at the chat to see if I have any questions from you. Oh, yes, absolutely, Dari. We're going to be sending the recording of this webinar. And if any of you have any questions regarding what we shared today, or any other questions, please always reach out to me and or to Carla. You can use the email info@consensusintl.com. And we both monitor that email as well. And thank you very much for being with us today. Thank you very much for taking your time to be here with us. And I hope it was useful information. And I see that maybe Flor has a question. Flor, I don't know if your question is regarding the localization, because I know that you had a question about that, if the context help includes information about the localization, and yes, it should. So we need to have a session and see that together. Okay. Other than that, if anybody has additional questions, please just send me an email. I'll be glad to find the answer for you, and I will share the answer with the rest of the attendees as well, so that we can all learn from your questions. Again, thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and thank you for being here. Bye.